Hi guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I decided to do something a little bit different. I know I said I wasn't going to be doing very many more cooking uh, stuff, but I really wanted to do this. I do have a 10-mile run to do tomorrow. I wanted to have a nice little snack that I could come home to after my run and be able to consume and then be able to go on with the rest of my day. I've got my iPad here. I was looking for some pumpkin desserts. I'm really starting to feel festive. We decorated for the month of October, and I'm doing this whole 48-hour reading challenge on my booktube side. I just wanted something with pumpkin in it. It's not necessarily something that I would take with me on my run because it's pretty much like a pumpkin whipped pudding sort of consistency. And that's just really messy and hard to take with me on my runs, but it is a perfect thing to have in my fridge, nice and cool, so that when I come home from running a half marathon, I can just pull that out of my fridge and I can just eat it. So, and I said half marathon because that's the last time I did this. But yeah, tomorrow's only going to be 10 miles. Thank goodness. Taper week. So apparently my mic went out and I don't even know what genuinely happened. I've never had this kind of issue before. So I am just going to voice over most of this video so that you guys can at least hear me and understand what I'm saying. So I do apologize. Anyways, right now I'm just talking about the hand mixer and why I'm choosing to use it over the KitchenAid that I have, and mainly it's just because it makes for easier whipping for this particular recipe. I'm also talking about my Jackery and how much I love it. I had no place to really plug in my little hand mixer with the position of the camera and stuff like that in our kitchen, so I use the Jackery for a lot of my filming and stuff when I have to plug in appliances and things like that. And it's just a really great tool. I mean, no, we're not sponsored or anything like that, but I absolutely love it and we use it all the time. Okay, so as I'm here whipping the cream cheese, which I actually had to turn the speed down because cream cheese was flying everywhere. It was actually quite hilarious. I'm going to go ahead and just talk to you guys about the ingredients that you will need for all of this. So we've got the 16 ounces of full fat cream cheese softened, which is what I'm doing right now. You're also going to need 1 cup of canned pumpkin puree, a half a cup heavy cream, 1 teaspoon pumpkin pie spice, 1 to 2 teaspoons liquid stevia, and it says to have it pumpkin or vanilla flavored. I couldn't find either one of those, so I just did my regular stevia, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So right here, I just went ahead and I grabbed a spoon and I took pumpkin puree and just started filling it up for 1 cup, and I used the 100% pumpkin puree, and so I just check the back and make sure that the only ingredient that you see is pumpkin, and then I just went ahead and like I'm showing you right here that it's 100% pure pumpkin, and I made sure that the only ingredient on the back is pumpkin, and that's very important for keto. You got to watch that because sometimes there can be added sugars and things that can really mess with your diet, and then some people don't realize it and they don't understand why they're not losing weight or even gaining weight, and sometimes it's just as simple as making sure that you're checking the ingredients, because just because it says it's keto friendly does not necessarily mean that that is true at all. Next, we're adding the pumpkin pie spice, and I love this stuff. It works really well when you're doing things like this. It just gives the pumpkin a little extra pow, and you definitely have to do that when you're making things with cream cheese, because cream cheese has a very strong taste to it, and so I love adding that pumpkin pie spice because it'll just add a little bit of a pop for everything. And then here I'm adding some liquid stevia. Again, this I'm doing 2 teaspoons because I like stuff a little extra sweet, but you can play with it as depending on what you want to do. So this is where I made my first mistake. I'm adding a teaspoon of vanilla extract right here. This is actually, you're supposed to put it in last. So after you fold in the heavy whipping cream and stuff like that, the vanilla extract comes in last, and that was an oopsie on my part. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my little hand mixer, and I'm going to mix up all the ingredients that we have put in so far. And at this point, this is smelling so good. It was ridiculous how good it was smelling. And it was a bit of a pain. You have to start out slow, start out at a slow speed and really work it in there. And then as things start really coming together and mixing, you can slowly turn up the speed a little bit more and a little bit more. Just be careful because this can get messy. So I was having some difficulties with the hand mixer and trying to get the edges. It just seemed to make a bigger mess. So I went ahead and got one of my little spatulas I use for baking, and I kind of just scraped the sides down into like a big lump at the bottom so that I could then mix it again. And it seemed to work out really, really well, as you can see here. And I was able to really mix the rest of it in together and get a great consistency. Now I'm just taking a minute to clean off my little my little mixer things because I plan on using that a little bit later. So I'm just doing a quick clean right here. So at this point, this is kind of what your stuff should be looking like once it's all mixed up. Now it's time for our heavy whipping cream, and you're just going to take a half a cup and you're going to pour that into a separate mixing bowl, and then you're going to take, either you can clean off your little hand mixer all the way if you want to. I didn't. I cleaned it off pretty well, but I didn't get it 100%, and I just honestly, that didn't bother me, so I just went ahead and used the same thing. And what you're basically going to do is you're just going to mix the heavy whipping cream until it kind of has a thickness feel to it. It's almost going to have like a little bit of some rough edges on the top of your mixture. And so I just kind of played this by ear, and then when it started really thickening up, that was when I pretty much called it good. Okay, now our whipping cream is ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pour some in and fold it into the mixture. And I try to do a little bit at a time, but honestly, I got a little impatient. So I ended up putting quite a bit of a glob in there, and then I just said forget it and just added the rest into it, and then scraped it all out, and then kind of just did the best that I could to fold it in afterwards. So I will admit I'm not the most patient person in the world, doing things super slowly. You should see me trying to make gravy. It's hilarious. So yeah, at this point I am just mixing it and kind of doing my best to do a type of fold mix. And as you can see, it's slowly coming together. It did take a bit of time for this all to mix up perfectly, but just be patient with it and you will get there. And so, as you can see, there's a couple times there I was like, this is getting ridiculous. But it smelled really good and it ended up tasting just fine too. So I wasn't super worried about it. And our little masterpiece is complete and it looks really, really good. And right here, I'm kind of explaining how you could easily pipe it. You could get the things that you would normally use for like icing and stuff on top of a cake, and you could pour it in there and make cute little designs and top it with a little bit of pumpkin's pie spice to kind of give it a nice pretty look. So if you were serving this for friends or family and wanted to really make it pretty, you could do that. I didn't do that for this because it was just for me. So I just looked through, got some Tupperware, and just called it good. Now I'm going ahead and I'm serving myself up some, and I'm putting some in a container that I can have ready for tomorrow. And then the rest I just put into just one giant, like the rest I put in another container. I realize that this makes a lot. I think this recipe will make 12 servings. And again, I don't eat a ton. Even what I put in the blue Tupperware is going to be way too much for just one serving for me, especially seeing as how, I mean, I love cream cheese, but it can be a lot really quickly. I think the last time I did this recipe, honestly, I think I maybe only ate like a couple tablespoons worth in each session. So this honestly will last me a really long time. But it's also really great for recovering after a run. It really um,
really give me more of a pep in my step after I get back, and it helps give me more energy. So I let this go ahead and cool for about an hour in the fridge, and now I'm taking a bite of it, seeing how I like it, and I absolutely loved it. It was delicious. I really give it a thought. The one thing that I do say here is that the cream cheese was a bit strong in my opinion. So I was just like brainstorming like different options I could do. I could go ahead and lessen the amount of cream cheese that I put in there, which I think honestly I might try doing maybe doing like 12 ounces of cream cheese instead of 16 the next time. And then also something else I thought about is maybe increasing the amount of liquid stevia I have in there, because I do love liquid stevia and I love my stuff sweet. And so that's something else I could try. But I think first I'm going to try a little less cream cheese.
Hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll try to come at you guys with a couple more recipes here and there depending on how life goes. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.